Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this landing page design guide, you're going to learn the secrets behind designing a high converting landing page, along with why 99% of those beautifully designed templates inside of your landing page builder actually don't matter. So timestamp table of contents in the description, along with some other helpful videos when it comes to writing the landing page copy, along with choosing which software you should use for your landing pages if you're still trying to figure that out. Here, we're just gonna talk about all about design. So we'll talk about the 4 essential elements, go through some live case studies when you stick around till the end, but we'll start with the 3 keys to success when it comes to designing your landing page. And the very first key to success is having one goal. So when someone hits your landing page, the whole goal of it is to collect their email, or in some rare cases, collect their phone number. That's it. The landing page is kind of the first step in your sales process, but you don't want the sales conversation to start on the landing page. You just need their contact information, so then you can start the sales process, do all that rapport building, all that other fun stuff later on down the road. Here, we just need their contact information, so the one goal of your landing page, is to collect their contact information. You can ask for more things like their address and company size, details about their budget, but the more you ask for, the less leads you're going to get. So if you're just starting out, just name and email is really all you need to get started. Now, the second key to success when it comes to designing your landing page is making sure that that one goal is really reinforced by having no other external links. So you don't want links to your homepage, to your social profiles, to your booking calendar, or even your blog. You only want people to be able to enter their contact information to get whatever you're offering on the landing page. Now, I'll add a little asterisk here. Most advertising platforms require you to have some legal notes at the bottom and links to your privacy policy, terms of service, disclaimer. That boring stuff I'm not talking about. We all have to have that on the bottom of our page, but other than that, it should just be that one call to action to enter their contact information. Now, the third key to success when designing your landing page deals with your call to action, and that is making sure that it's above the fold. So all this means simply is people shouldn't have to scroll down in order to enter their contact information. So you want your button or your opt-in form to be so far up on the page that if someone's on their phone or someone's on their desktop, they don't have to scroll down to find the button. We want to make it very clear that, hey, this is why this page exists. Go ahead and enter your name and email, or just bounce out and check out some other content. And especially if you're doing paid traffic, please, please, please don't do any external links and make sure your call to action is above the fold. Now let's go ahead and talk about the 4 essential elements of your landing page and what these elements are designed to do in order to get a stranger to trust you enough to give you their contact information. So here are the 4 essential elements: grab attention, call to action, more info, and proof or credibility. So grab attention. This is where you tell visitors why this offer is for them and how it fixes a problem for them. The call to action is telling them exactly what to do next. So if you want them to download something, just have the call to action button say download now. If you're doing a webinar, it should be register now. If it's a free masterclass or you're doing a launch funnel and you're saying it's a 4 or 5 part video series, you could say sign up for the training now. Make it very relevant to whatever the actual offer is. Or if you're doing sales calls, then you can go ahead and say book your free discovery or strategy call, but you do want it to be specific to whatever the offer is. Now, the next part here is more info, and this is typically done in the form of bullet points where you're talking more to that logical side of people and they go, okay, well, the headline's cool. They already clicked on whatever link that got them here, so your ad or your content worked to get them here. And if they're scrolling down, that just means they want a little bit more information. So here, you'll give a little more detail about exactly what they're going to get. Now, the next essential element of your landing page is the proof or credibility. And this is where essentially you are showing that you are a real person or a real company, or that other people have found success with whatever you're offering. So you really are just building some initial trust here so that people don't feel dumb entering their contact information. They just want to know, is this a scam or not? Now, those are the 4 essential elements of designing your landing page. I'm also going to add one more here before we start diving into those case studies, and that's going to be a graphical representation of you, which would just be a picture, or a representation of whatever the offer is. So with that, let's go ahead, jump into some case studies and look at how do these elements look on an actual landing page. Now, the very first one we have is an old landing page from one of our previous webinars. And as you can see here on the top, we have a very hard to read headline. This page obviously did not convert very well because nobody could read that headline, but this is a great example of how to lay out the page because a different version of it did really well. Then we have our call to action above the fold, reserve my seat, because this is a webinar. We have our more information in the form of bullet points. We have another call to action. We have some social proof via testimonials. And then we have a little credibility at the bottom just saying who the heck I am, because this was being driven to cold traffic. Now this next one is from Digital Marketer. And you can see here, they have their headline. It's very short, succinct. It says exactly what someone's going to get. They have a nice graphic at the top as well to represent what's actually being offered. And even if the graphic isn't a spitting image of whatever's being offered, it just helps someone materialize what they're actually going to get. And next we have our bullet points. They have 3 bullet points, but they're very long. And so this is giving people clearly more information about what they're going to get as a part of the 60-second blog plan. 60-second blog plan. And then for our call to action, we have get your content plan now. So this is a really good example of how your call to action text on your button can be tied directly to whatever your offer is. They could have just as easily said submit or download, but saying get your content plan now is just reinforcing what someone wants when they're coming to this page, which of course is getting a content plan. And finally, we have a credibility at the bottom. Instead of doing testimonials or having a bunch of social proof, he just went ahead and had a quick line about who he was. And this works really well because he's pretty well known in his niche. Now, this next one is from Neil Patel, and this is a landing page that he used to drive traffic to a webinar. So at the top, you can see as the graphic, he just says him as the influencer. So if you want to be an influencer, it's okay if you want to put yourself front and center. And then of course, he has his headline and a call to action above the fold. Then here you can see his more information or bullet points, instead of just being a long list, goes from left to right, so it works pretty well. And then he has another call to action at the bottom. Now this next one here is from another marketer, Eric Sue, and this one is a lot shorter. You can see here pretty much just has a headline, a picture of himself, and a call to action. And really this is all you need when you're just starting, because the most important part when you're putting together your headlines, I gave it away. The most important part of putting together your landing page is testing your headlines, because that's really what's grabbing attention. And so if you are doing a really good job and you're advertising, explaining what someone's going to get, they're not going to need as much information when they finally hit this page. So for example, this page, before this landing page, there's an actual video ad. So when someone clicks here, they've already been educated and they're ready to opt in, versus doing a display or Facebook ad. You'd probably want some more bullet points on here because they will have just read a couple lines of text versus watching a 90-second video, being educated and primed to enter their contact information on this page. So you definitely need congruency between what your ads are doing and what your landing page is designed to do. Now, this next one is another example of a different landing page for the same webinar you saw in the first landing page. And you can see pretty much we just changed things around. We made the headline extremely easy to read. We have 3 calls to action, a ton of bullet points, and just a quick little graphic and bio of who the heck I am, because this was, again, designed for cold traffic. Now, this next one is from a marketer named Billy Jean, who runs a digital marketing agency. You can see he has the headline at the top, and then his graphic and information is actually the same thing. So what's really cool about this particular graphic is it's not necessarily showing what they're going to get, but the fact that he has taken a picture of himself with a whiteboard in the background and he's clearly on the beach, some $1 million house on the beach somewhere, communicates a ton of information in a very, very short period of time. So if you can have some sort of picture that's credibility building, I'm not saying go rent a Ferrari and then just stand next to it with, a pile of cash or something. Like, you don't want to be spammy, but here it's very clear that you're going to get a presentation, and just by him being in that environment, it kind of exudes a certain level of success that most most business owners would like to achieve. Now moving down here, instead of having testimonials, he has another couple pictures showing his team and then showing him speaking in front of people. So he doesn't necessarily need the testimonials because he's showing, hey, I can afford to pay all these people. Like, I'm a real company, I'm a real person, we're real people. And he has a picture of himself on stage showing implied incredibility because there are at least a couple hundred people who have presumably paid to come to one of his events. And I really like this landing page because it shows you that pictures, especially pictures of things you've actually done or real life events, can be used to imply and build credibility without explicitly trying to brag. Now this next one is from Sam Ovens at consulting.com, and you can see here the headline is very clear. Instead of having a bullet point, they have a sub-headline. And so this is a great way to test different messaging very quickly without having a laundry list of bullet points. And you can see here he has a very nice graphic of the video that they're going to receive, the Amazon letters, which I think is really funny because you can actually get those Amazon letters for free, but most people don't know that. There is a lot of value in there. And finally, we have the call to action, which is not download, not watch the free training, but get started. So if you want to rewind, you can pause this to see how all of the copy is actually designed to tell someone, hey, you're going to start your business right now, today. And so saying get started makes sense because they're trying to tie in the emotion and desire of starting a business with entering that email. So that's like the first step that someone's going to take to start their business, as opposed to just saying, watch the free training or get the free training or download the Amazon letters now. So subtle differences. There's really a lot you can do with these elements. And that's why you only need these 4 or 5 elements, and playing with them and the copy is the most important part. So thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more sales funnel building tutorials just like this one. And until the next video, keep building the business you love.